Hey girly. Today I want to talk about something that feels uncomfortable, but it's a truth many of us don't fully understand, that in India, non-consensual sex within marriage isn't a criminal offense for adults. That means a woman cannot legally accuse her husband of rape, even if she said no, even if she was forced, even if she was terrified. And this isn't a misunderstanding. This is the law. Even in 2025. Let me explain why this happened, how it happened, and what that means for millions of married women in this country. The Indian Penal Code, that's the basic criminal law that defines crimes like murder, theft, sexual assault, has a specific section called Section 375, which defines rape. It says rape is sexual intercourse without consent, by force, fraud, intimidation or coercion. But then, there's an exception. Exception 2 says that sexual intercourse by a man with his own wife is not considered rape, as long as the wife is older than 18. That exception was originally drafted in the colonial era and has largely stayed the same in modern law. That means that if a husband forces himself on his wife, even violently, no matter how many times, the law says it cannot be prosecuted as rape. Instead, a woman might go to court under other provisions like Section 498A, which deals with cruelty, or seek divorce, or protection orders under the Domestic Violence Act. But these remedies are civil or lesser criminal charges. They do not recognize the act itself as the crime of rape. Why does such an exception exist? The explanation given by lawmakers and sometimes even courts has been rooted in old cultural assumptions, that marriage implies perpetual consent, that once married a woman is presumed to have agreed to sexual relations for life, and that criminalizing sex between spouses would harm the institution of marriage itself. Some arguments even claim that matters inside a marriage should remain private, beyond the reach of criminal law. These ideas may sound antiquated, but they have real consequences. Imagine a woman who is afraid of intimacy, who has no safe space, who lives with the very person who harmed her. Outside marriage, if a woman experiences non-consensual sex, she can call it rape, she can file an FIR, she can seek protection. Inside marriage, she legally cannot. That means the law treats two identical acts, one outside marriage and one inside, very differently simply because of marital status. In 2017, the Supreme Court of India changed one small part of the law. It increased the age that applies to this exception from 15 to 18, meaning that if a husband has non-consensual sex with a wife below 18, it is rape. But for adult women above 18, the exemption still stands. Over the last few years, several petitions have been filed in courts asking the exception to be struck down as unconstitutional. The argument is simple. If rape is defined as non-consensual sex, then marriage shouldn't magically erase consent. Lawyers challenging the provision say it violates fundamental rights to dignity, autonomy, personal liberty, and equality, because it treats married women differently than unmarried women under the same definition of sexual violence. The Supreme Court is still hearing these cases. In fact, as of December 2025, Parliament has not repealed the exception, and the law continues as is, although a private member bill has been introduced to criminalize marital rape explicitly. Some defenders of the current law argue that criminalizing marital rape would be hard to enforce, that proving lack of consent within ongoing sexual relations would be difficult, or that it would interfere with the institution of marriage. These arguments echo cultural views that a husband somehow owns access to his wife's body, or that marriage itself implies consent. But these justifications ignore the lived experiences of many women. Psychological evidence, survivor testimonies, and legal scholars all agree that non-consensual sex within marriage causes trauma, long-term harm, and violation of human dignity. To call it anything other than rape is to deny women the same legal protection that non-married women enjoy. Many rights activists argue that consent is not a one-time idea that disappears the moment a couple says, "I do." True consent is ongoing, revocable, and essential in all intimate relations, marriage included. For women every day, this legal loophole creates fear and silence. Many do not report abuse because they know the police cannot charge their husbands with rape. Instead, they might be told to live with it for the sake of the family, or to seek a divorce if they cannot cope. This puts huge pressure on women who may have no financial independence or social support. The law effectively treats a woman's body as something owned by her husband rather than something she has full autonomy over. So when we ask why marital rape isn't illegal in India, the answer isn't simple. It's not just legal wording on a page. It's a reflection of how society views marriage, consent, and women's rights. It's rooted in outdated assumptions about marital duty and the privacy of the bedroom. It's shaped by cultural resistance to acknowledging that violence can happen even between people who are supposed to love each other. And more than anything, it's a reminder that change in law must reflect change in how we value autonomy and consent in every relationship. This is a conversation that goes beyond headlines, beyond courtroom debates, and into the homes and lives of women who have no choice but to live with laws that still do not fully recognize their bodily autonomy.